Hello, probers. Welcome to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial comedy podcast brought to you by two former MIBs. We bring you the truth, week in and week out, about what these extraterrestrial bastards are doing. I'm your host this week, the king of the street grannies, the prince with the perfect peach, the bestest of best friends. It is now official. I am Granny Moonwalker. And sitting opposite me as always is the greyest of grey beards, oiled up and combed to perfection, attached to the tallest man in the world, Kev in the Grey.
Hello. That's
Hi.
all I have.
Today, we're taking a look at the abduction of Mabel.
Mabel sounds like a dog.
Or an old person.
Or an old dog. Mabel's very sheepdoggy to me as a name.
Mabel. Yeah, Mabel.
See? Oh, Mabel.
Yeah, Mabel. Mabel.
I can see you've put a picture of what I presume to be Mabel in the research notes here.
Yes.
She is not a dog. She's a lady, probably in her 40s, 50s.
I would say 20s.
You liar.
You never know, back in the day, people looked a lot older.
They did.
Like Mr. Belding is actually younger than what we are right now and looks about 20 years older than we do right now.
Yeah. People.
Belding.
Why do people age so much slower than they used to like 20 years ago? It's bonkers.
Aliens.
That's, of all the weird conspiracy theories and whatnot out there, that's the one that needs to be solved. Because that's real.
Why we're... Although, I don't know, is this generation...
Talking about my generation.
Would you say a lot of them look older than we do?
Not necessarily. They don't look as old as people used to.
Just pouring me some whiskey.
That's like a quadruple shot. We've got a photo of King Mabel from WWE in the research notes as well. That man
Yes, I do.
was a big man.
He was a big man. King Mabel.
Like, to wrestle at that size.
I suppose it would depend if you're used to moving at that size.
How can you be used to moving at that size? Your knees must be shot. He was a really big dude.
He was a really big guy.
500-pounder. Just himself. I don't know why this is the first place my mind went, but he must have needed some sort of special toilet. At that size, you must eat a lot and crank out some real nasty stuff.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Like, imagine it.
No.
Can you... You walk in there after he's just come out. Oh, Lord!
Mabel.
Mr. Moonwalker's reliving it right now.
Mabel was driving along, minding her damn business, and she happened to look up and notice something in the sky. She got out of the car to get a better look at the object.
What could it be?
Who could it be? She remembers clearly getting out of the car. What she doesn't remember is getting back into her car. Confused, she started to look around and realised that her feet were covered in dirt. And this confused her even more.
Lost time, baby.
With no answers, she just continued on with her life. Was the object still there in the sky? Who knows? But it wasn't long before she started to realise that this was happening more and more. Lost pockets of time and blank spots in her memory.
Baby.
These must have happened quite shortly after the incident with her car, because shortly after that, she started to notice bruises on her body. Unexplained.
Abducted, slabbed, and probed.
Slabbed!
We haven't seen a slabbing for a little while, have we? This is,
Been a while.
this has the hallmarks of a slabbing.
Hashtag slabbed.
So she was in the car, got out the car, then next thing she knows, she's back in the car with dirty feet.
Yep.
Or did she get out of the car with shoes on?
So when she got out of the car, she was standing on pavement. So she didn't get out of the car and stand in like a field or into grass or anything. It was concrete she stood on.
That's unusual then, because if she was abducted straight away, you'd expect that she would just wake up back in the car relatively clean. They didn't even have the decency to clean her feet afterwards. Is she driving barefoot? Isn't that dangerous? What if you have sweaty feet? Did she have sweaty feet?
Do you know what? I would say that maybe we were talking about her shoes and not her actual feet. But I know someone that drives barefoot, so maybe she was. Yes, this person baffles me too.
Yeah, that is genuinely dangerous. What if you get sweaty feet? What if they slip?
I don't know, mate.
And think of the poor people in the car, would ya? Think of the stink. Had she been utilising any substances? Was she on any medication that could alter her memories?
Not that we are aware of.
Where did she get the dirty feet?
Where indeed?
Where were the bruises?
I don't think we know. I think it just says mystery bruises.
Were they in three-fingered handprints on her ass?
I think they were just mystery bruises.
That could be anything.
Similar to that mystery bruise I woke up with after we spoke about a certain organisation.
I was just about to say, sometimes I'll have mystery bruises. You just get them sometimes.
Mm-hmm. We're being slapped.
Well, that or walking through a lot of bushes, as I do.
Slapped.
Why are my feet dirty?
Lost pockets of time and bizarre bruises. But Mabel says that these weren't really a frightening experience for her, and explains that it just happens. Mabel had...
I just said it just happens. She's been listening to me, damn it.
Mabel had no idea why any of this was happening though.
It just happens.
Especially to her. But when she does find it, it puts her at ease. Because there's fuck all she can do about it. Mabel shares that nobody can stop them from doing what they want to do. Nobody on this earth. Because they are far too advanced, mentally and technologically. We don't have a defense at all. Who are them and they? Who is she talking about? Well, they could come here and take over in an instant if they so wished. They are that powerful. But they don't want to take over via violence. Instead, they want bodies and minds. Bodies and minds, what for?
It's telling me now that my body...
That is so wrong when you re-sing that.
Yeah.
Mabel believes that this is to create hybrids. Hybrids that can breathe our air easily and carry out the plans of their extraterrestrial kin, wherever they may be. They told her that they were collecting human eggs, but that every attempt so far to hybridize has been a failure.
This is a prime example of 0 to 100 case. So
0 to 100!
She's just in her car. She gets out of her car.
Boom! We want eggs, bitch!
She's back in her car. Nothing's happened. She's not saying anything's happened. Then suddenly we're being visited by people taking our eggs and shit.
We want your eggs.
And we're powerless. Where's the in-betweeny? What happened to get to that point? Like, when was the first meeting? Where are the bruises even coming from? She hasn't even said that. Suddenly there's just a species here visiting us and harvesting us. 0 to 100! It's like she started talking about a conversation as if we've all been part of it the whole way along, but none of us have got a clue what she's talking about. You need to explain yourself.
I thought she did pretty well. Dirty feet, bruises, hybridized eggs.
Nobody can stop them.
1, 2, 3.
Who are they?
Stage 1, dirty feet. Stage 2, bruises. Stage 3, eggs. It's a side plan.
It doesn't make sense. Chewbacca.
Mabel's abductors.
Whoa. Are we not going to get any sort of explanation?
What do you mean?
Who are they? Them. Who are they, them?
Them.
And they are?
We'll find out who they are.
Will we? I
Yeah.
feel like she's already talking about them as if we should know.
We should.
But we don't.
But they're them.
Why are they collecting eggs?
Hybridized.
Does Mabel have eggy children now?
Hybrids? Or just egg?
Hybrids, star children, whatever you want to call them.
Mabel's abductors would show her a baby. And instantly, Kevin. That means straight away, instantly, Mabel knew that this child was her child because it looked like her grandson.
No. No, it didn't.
But it did. She knew that it was her son. He looked 99% human, albeit his eyes were a similar shape to her abductors. Mabel, upon instantly realizing that it was her son, asked her abductors if she could take the child back to Earth with her, but they rejected her proposal.
Why?
Informing her that the child would not survive in Earth's atmosphere.
Why on earth not if it was her son? Presumably if it's 99% like her.
Only in looks.
Yeah, but surely your internal structures create the external structure.
Not necessarily.
She's not a ditto, is she?
What if it had gills? What if it could only breathe in nitrogen rather than oxygen? What if oxygen
Then how is she
kills
breathing while she's looking at it?
What if they've given her some
Stop what if for me.
What if?
Where did the abductors come from?
Time.
Why does her
space.
grandson look like an alien? So her son, sorry, now I'm doing it.
Her son looks human with alien eyes.
Where did he get the eyes from?
He's a hybrid.
What does it all mean, Basil?
Her son is a hybrid.
No, he's not.
He is. He is, Kevin. Instantly she knew.
Instantly, I know.
You don't know that instantly.
I know.
You don't.
Oh, I know.
Have these abductions been generational? Mabel has also mentioned encounters that her grandmother had told her about, which happened in the 1930s.
Surely this should have been the start, not the car bit. If you knew it was coming.
Mabel's grandmother would sit on the outside porch with her husband and would witness strange lights hovering near the oil wells, and would often witness childlike entities running around the oil wells.
I thought they couldn't breathe in our atmosphere.
Who's to say that they didn't have special helmets on?
Then how would you know if they look like children?
You've also got to remember,
King Mabel.
childlike entities could just be small people.
But they still
Look from afar. Also, it's only the hybrids that can't breathe the atmosphere. What if the originals can breathe it by wearing a suit or a
Then
protective
why can't
helmet?
the hybrids wear those things?
Maybe that's just something they haven't figured out yet. That's why they keep trying to make them.
All they've got to do is put a suit on. It seems so very simple.
Yeah, but they're trying
advanced.
to get them to survive without the suit.
They're advanced.
Think of it this way.
I don't want
Iron Man 1
Did he?
to Endgame.
Right.
Endgame, he had a little thing on his hand where he could just go boop and the suit would pop on.
Saved time, didn't it?
Yeah. Iron Man 1, he had to climb into that fucking bitch and make it. So what if they're trying to hybridize these kids and this is them getting from Iron Man 1 to Endgame?
That makes so little sense that it makes sense.
I know it does.
But why could they, generations earlier in the grandmother's time, be on the Earth fine?
We don't
They've
know if
already
they-
got that
we
tech.
didn't know if
don't
they
need
didn't
to go
have-
stage 3.
The helmets. We didn't know if the kids running around the oil
Had them in the
fields
past.
could be 100% alien, not hybrids.
But then if they could breathe okay as 100% aliens and they mixed with someone who could also breathe okay, where does the not being able to breathe
We
okay
don't
part of the
know
genes come
that
from?
they could
That's-
breathe okay, is what I'm saying. They might have had helmets on.
Then put a helmet
They
on the
might-
hybrid. I'm back to point 1.
They might have had Iron Man 1s.
No! Iron Man 1 still worked.
We're trying to get to Endgame here. The worst of the films, but still. The tech was better, the story was worse.
This is a lovely painting. It's calming me down. Starry Nights. It's almost like...
See, look, the little kids in the picture have helmets.
They clearly do not have helmets on in the picture. They're breathing in the air just fine.
They've got helmets on.
They're greys. Little greys. Why can they breathe?
Helmets.
This is just a still frame. They all conk down and die straight after this was painted.
They stood still for the painting and then just keeled over.
I'd like to paint you.
Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll just wait here a second. You done?
Paint me like one of your French girls. When Mabel's grandmother would try to get closer to see what these entities were or what they were doing, they would disappear as if by magic.
Magic.
So, was this family targeted? Are they part of a long line of abductees? Have they been using this family to try over and over again to hybridize to no success? Or are they just a long line amongst a long line of long lines of people's families?
I'm so very confused.
You would be.
Who are they?
Them!
Where did they come from? I need an origin story.
Final
They
frontier.
can't just be there. How do you know it's the final frontier?
They told me.
Are you one of them?
I'm a hybrid.
Oh no. Did Mabel paint this herself?
No.
It's very good.
See, they don't have the artistic flair to paint something this well.
It's far better than anything I could ever create. I'll give her that.
Yeah, it's not hard. I've seen your
Stickman.
your penis hats. Sombrero with a penis.
So, why would only this family be targeted?
See, this is what we don't know. We don't know if they are the only one or if there's other families that have also been targeted. We are just hearing this account. Therefore, long line of long line of long lines.
Arguably, and this is very, very arguably, there is a little bit of logic here.
I know there is.
If you were trying to, for example, mess with someone's DNA ever so slightly to
You
create
would
a certain
stick
mutation,
with the same
generation
DNA.
after
Yeah.
generation, keep on doing what you're
Absolutely.
doing to try and get what you want there. So I can see a slight bit of reason in that.
You can see all the reasoning.
But she ain't saying that herself, is she?
Yeah, you are.
I know I am.
So this is the part of the probe where we turn to science and skepticism. Science! It could have happened. We don't have any evidence. That's questionable enough that could be disproven with science. Skepticism. Kev, shoot away. I know you've got something.
I think I've already emptied myself with King Mabel. King Mabel is huge.
A huge man.
Very, very big man.
Big man.
Would not want to bump into him in a dark alley, would you? Big man.
I think I'd beat him now.
Well, he's passed away.
So I think I'd beat him now.
Jesus. Right. Is there any evidence?
Not enough to be disproven with science.
So your argument is that because there's no evidence, that means it can't disprove it. We've got nothing.
Got everything.
This is just a pump in the breeze.
Got everything we need.
This is an air biscuit. There's nothing.
Everything.
Nothing is there. She hasn't told us anything. She was in a car. She got out of a car. She got back in a car.
30 feet, bruises, hybridized eggs.
Grand saw
Kid.
aliens
Yeah.
that could breathe.
That's all you need.
Yet her hybrid child couldn't.
They had helmets.
They didn't have... There's no helmets in the painting, damn it.
Too far away.
You could see a bloody helmet. You can see their heads. The helmet would have to fit over their heads, therefore be more visible.
What if their heads are really small and what you're seeing isn't their head but a helmet? That's a helmet-shaped head. Look at that. Helmets.
It's definitely not. Why has one of them got a Hey Arnold football head?
It's his helmet.
But the rest have got heads that are more traditional grey-shaped.
He pulled the short straw.
So one of them has a helmet. Surely that would be the long straw if the rest are about to cark it.
So, to summarise...
in the car, got out of the car, was back in the car, bruises, hybrid eggs, hybrid baby, grandmother saw greys, the end. Are you saying?
I am. It's aliens. Let us summarise. We have the abduction case of Mabel White. Mabel was driving along when she spotted something in the sky and pulled over to take a better look. The next thing she knows, she's back in the car, confused as to how. She looks around and discovers that her legs have dirt on them. Dirt. Confused, she heads home. Over the next few days, there are more instances of blank spots in her memory, and times she has woken up with bruises on her body. Bruises. Although shocked at first, she was seemingly unbothered because there was nothing that she could do about it. Then one day, she came face to face with the reason for the blank spots and bruises. Her abductors. Creatures from another world who wanted human bodies and minds, and also to collect eggs. You see, these beings were trying to create the perfect hybrid. A mix of them and us
Fingers at me.
that could breathe within our atmosphere. Everything they'd done so far was a failure. Mabel was shown a baby that she recognised because it looked like her grandson, but with the entity's eyes. She knew immediately that this was her child. Mabel wanted to take the child home with her, but they refused, saying that the child wouldn't survive as it couldn't breathe in our atmosphere. We then heard
Even one of the points.
about how Mabel's grandmother had also witnessed some strange entities and goings on in the 1930s. Was this family targeted? Dirty feet, bruises, eggs. Lost my train of thought. Hybrids.
Grandmum.
Yeah.
The 5 fingers of doom.
Boom.
Right. Was it the son or the grandson that the alien looked like?
The alien looked like her grandson, so she knew it was her son.
But surely her grandson would look less like her than her son did, because that's another couple of...
No, but her son looked so much like her grandson that she knew it was her son. No one said anything about them looking like her.
Maybe it wasn't hers at all then?
Maybe it was.
Maybe it time travelled and it was her grandson's.
But it was her son. She knew it was her son because it looked like her grandson.
Does she tell us anything about the abduction experience?
Yeah.
As in how
Bruises.
she got lifted? No, the bruises just turned up after. Why were they bruising her? Why weren't they gentle?
Maybe they couldn't find the vein. Well, she bruised easily like a peach.
Then she could have done it elsewhere. I can't see any strand of logic in this one. I'm struggling. Throw me a bone.
Okay. Dirty feet. Bruises.
Not those bones. I'm afraid.
That you're going to get taken?
No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that this is aliens.
Why?
Because all you've given me is dirty feet, 0 to 100 hybrid eggs, and a baby.
Okay, I'm in. This is aliens.
You're absolutely not. You're so far out.
So far out, it could be a hybrid.
More likely than this person.
Nah. So are you saying this is aliens or...
Sure.
Kev's in. I think it's bullshit personally, but he doesn't.
So far out. What?
Thank you for joining
Why
us.
did she even bother telling this tale? She's not giving you anything. Oh.
Dirty feet. Bruises.
Give you dirty feet.
Thank you for joining us for this week's probe. You can find us everywhere at But It Was Aliens. That's Insta, Facebook, and with Facebook, we have a secret group known as Extraterrestrial Towers, where you can find memes and shit. And over at Patreon.com/But It Was Aliens, you can gain access to Side Probes, the paranormal spin-off of But It Was Aliens. Here we look outside the extraterrestrial and everywhere else in the world, from ghosts to ghouls, princes to pirates, and even penises.
But not dirty feet.
Now, for something completely out of the blue, here at But It Was Aliens, we do not do adverts, but I'd be remiss to advertise my own business. During the day, when I'm not actively researching aliens, I am a personal trainer and have now decided to take my business online. If you're interested in being trained by the king of the street grannies and the prince with the perfect peach, you can head on over to gwpersonaltraining.mypthub.net/my-site.
You too could develop a peach of royalty.
You'll also be able to find this link in the description. As always, I have been the bestest of best friends. It's now official! And he's been the beard attached to a Kev. Remember, the truth is up there. #.